shall learn and live and lead.
SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Engineering, Medical and Health Sciences, Management, Dental, Science and Humanities, Law, Agriculture Sciences, Hotel Management. Admissions open.
Very good afternoon, all of you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Dear attendees, we are going to commence the program. So today the webinar topic is Insight into B.Sc Honors in Aircraft Maintenance Program offered by SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Kattankulathur, Department of Aerospace Engineering. So we have eminent professors present here, along with equal number of alumni members present here to guide you through the program. So now I invite Dr. R. Vasudevan, Professor and Head Department of Aerospace Engineering, SRMIST, Kattankulathur. He will introduce about the SRMIST and the Department of Aerospace Engineering. So before we begin, I will just brief his profile. Dr. R. Vasudevan is a PhD in Mechanical Engineering, and he has got very rich experience in research and publication, and he has done his postdoctoral research associate at University of Denton, Texas, USA, and also postdoctoral research associate at Southern Methodist University, Dallas, and achievement and awards life member of Indian Society for Technical Education. Other professional experience goes quality assurance engineer in testing, Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company, and he has got a career span of more than 15 plus years in the engineering as well as the aerospace industry. So over to you, sir, for the introduction.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah, can I proceed?
Yes, you have to lower. Video is not correct.
Maybe I can do without the video. I'll just start talking.
Okay, no problem.
Very good afternoon to everyone assembled across the cyberspace. It's my privilege to welcome all the attendees and the panelists. Very briefly, I will just explain the genesis of this new program. SRMIST at Kattankulathur, Chennai has been having a Department of Aerospace Engineering, which was established in the year 2007. And about 10 batches of engineering graduates with B.Tech degree have already passed, and many of them are well placed in the aerospace industry and allied industries. About a couple of years ago, we received a specific recommendation, written recommendation from University Grants Commission to explore the scope for offering a degree in aircraft maintenance. This communication was sent to several colleges, several institutes and universities, and we could pick up from that communication and lay the groundwork for starting a new course, basically because there is a dire need for technically qualified and trained manpower required by maintenance, repair, and overall, that is MRO industry and allied sectors. So, starting with the last academic year, we have been laying the foundation work, coming up with the regulations, coming up with the syllabi prescribed, and coming up with all other facilities that will be required. And starting with this July 2020, we are in a position to commence the course with the first batch of B.Sc honors degree in aerospace engineering. And in case you have observed the video that was played by Mr. Venkat, SRMIST has got a cosmopolitan atmosphere, a multicultural environment, which is definitely a USP for a university of its size. Coming to this particular course, Dr. Sivakumar, who is my colleague, who will be introduced shortly, he will be giving you an in-depth understanding of the significance of the course, the significance of the contents and the curriculum, the job opportunities, etc. I also take pleasure to invite Mr. Amanjori, my former student, alumnus of SRMIST, and also Mr. Lokesh Pantri, I guess he may be available to join this webinar for giving the students a perspective of the ex-student of this department. Throughout this webinar, you will be allowed to interact with the panelists in whichever way Dr. Sivakumar finds convenient. You may be allowed to raise your questions at the end, or whichever way is fine. And I too can join if there is any particular question that requires answer. So with those few words, I would like to once again emphasize that SRMIST, and in particular Aerospace Engineering Department, is proud of the state-of-the-art facilities it has for undergraduate education, for research, as well as for conducting sponsored projects. In fact, Dr. Sivakumar, who is going to be the next speaker, is at the moment handling a research project sponsored by ARDB related to landing gear design. So with those few words, I would like to wish the very best for this webinar, and I would like to hand over back to Mr. Venkat. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to meet you all in this webinar on insight into B.Sc aircraft maintenance. It is an immense pleasure for me to introduce our speaker, Dr. S Sivakumar. Our speaker has over 15 plus years of industry and academic experience in the field of aerospace engineering. He was a senior non-commissioned officer in Indian Air Force. His expertise was in aircraft and engine system maintenance. He worked as a project executive and the chief instructor approved by DGCA Government of India in Park School of Aeronautic Science, Coimbatore. Currently, he is working as an associate professor in the Department of Aerospace Engineering, SRMIST. Also, he has a funded project titled Design and Analysis of Aircraft Active Landing Gears from Aeronautics Research and Development Board, DRDO. Hearty welcome, sir. Now I request Dr. Ganapathy Subramanian, sir, to speak few words on the former students of SRMIST.
Thank you, sir. So, good afternoon, all. I am Ganapathy Subramanian here. Good afternoon, sir. So, just welcome our head of department, Professor Dr. Vasudevan, and Dr. Sivakumar, our speaker, next speaker, Dr. Sarvanakumar. In fact, Dr. Sarvanakumar is also one of our alumni here, along with the welcome Mr. Lokesh Mantri, who is also another alumni, and also Mr. Aman Jori, who will also be joining this. I think has already joined. Aman Jori, I haven't seen him. He will be joining shortly. Okay. So I also welcome our admissions director, Professor Venkat. I welcome you all, sir, for this meeting. So I take this opportunity to introduce our alumni who are present over here. So first we have, as our head department, Professor Vasudevan already introduced, the batch was started in 2007. So we have Mr. Lokesh Mantri, who is a successful former student of our department and who passed out in the batch 2007-2011 batch. So it is a pleasure to this moment to welcome you, Mr. Lokesh Mantri. Lokesh Mantri is here.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So Lokesh Mantri is an alumni of 2007-2011 batch, and he was a high gratitude to the alma mater for every success achieved during the struggle, and is an aviation enthusiast who believes metals can fly. So currently he's heading the Quetta Airways Cargo Division in Philippines with an overall experience in the airline industry of more than 7 years. He also holds the experience of working in various countries around the world, working with the IATA, Lufthansa Cargo, and Qatar Airways Cargo. And if I am not correct, I still remember the day where Mr. Lokesh Mantri visited Sri Lanka. Is it right? As a part of his NCC. Am I right? So he brought a lot of laurels to our department and to the university. Am I right, Lokesh? Are you able to hear me, Lokesh? Hello.
I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, totally correct.
Yeah. So I
Right,
welcome you. I welcome you, Mr. Lokesh.
Thank you, sir.
Next we have Dr. Sarvanakumar, and he's also one of our notable alumni. And he actually passed out in the batch 2008-2012. And actually, what happens here is that I'm very proud of Dr. Sarvanakumar because he completed his B.Tech Aerospace Engineering between 2008 to 2012. Subsequently, he joined MIT and completed his master's in MTech in aerospace engineering, and further he continued his research and also finished his PhD. So when I had a visit to MIT, I am also an alma mater of MIT. I completed my master's in MIT in 1990. So when I visited the department, I remember the olden days where we were students. So I was very proud that he was able to help me in expanding all the infrastructure facilities for the research which is going on in under the composite division. So I was really happy at that moment. And then after submitting, getting his PhD, he came to our department, and so I said that, sir, I would like to serve our department. I was more than happy at that moment, and I welcome Dr. Sarvanakumar, who is under the panel list. I welcome you, sir. Dr. Sarvanakumar.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Then we have Mr. Aman Jori, who is a batch 2012-2016 batch. Mr. Aman Jori is a successful former student of our department, and he is a CEO of Jatayu Unmanned Systems Mumbai. And he's also an entrepreneur and CEO, and is a motivational speaker and a drone pilot. And he has defense policy analysis and educationist. And I also remember the association with our department, our head of department, Professor Dr. Vasudevan, as with Aman Jori, that is his father. And under their help, we are able to establish the best project, student project. I think for 5 years we have successfully completed. Am I right, sir?
You're right.
HOD, sir? Yes, sir.
Correct.
So, yes, sir. So I welcome Mr. Aman Jori for this meeting. I don't know whether Aman Jori is present over here. Aman Jori is here? Oh. So finally, I welcome all of you for this meeting. And over to Professor Venkat for further proceedings.
I extend my invite to Dr. S Sivakumar, Associate Professor in the Department of Aerospace Engineering. And he has got several awards and accolades from the Indian Air Force. He was a non-commissioned officer for about 17 years, and he has won medals twice for the successful completion of 9 years and also for 15 years. Besides that, he is working on various government projects, as already pointed out by Dr. Vasudevan sir. So I now, without any delay, I invite Dr. S Sivakumar to give the main or core essence of our B.Sc honors course, how it is beautifully crafted and how it is beneficial for our attendees, including the job opportunities. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for a nice introduction of me, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to all panel members and good afternoon to all the participants. So this program, this webinar is mainly, sir, the slides are okay? Is it?
Visible.
Okay.
You can go for full screen mode. You can go for full screen mode.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to all the participants. So this webinar is exclusively for the details about the B.Sc Honors aircraft maintenance that our department Aerospace Engineering launched because of huge skilled manpower demand in the civil aviation. So we have entered and also the recommendation of UGCE. So we are starting the B.Sc Honors 3 years program course in our department. So before going into the details about the B.Sc Honors aircraft maintenance, so we must know about what is MRO, because MRO means maintenance, repair, overall activities. Whatever the maintenance activities carried out on the aircraft, aeroplanes, aircraft systems, aircraft engines, any major system, minor systems, that's all the activities covered in the MRO. So like MRO activities involves line maintenance and base maintenance. The base maintenance also includes aircraft modifications, spare components repair and components repair, components overall, engine overall. These all the activities involved in the MRO. These activities depends upon the fleet size, whatever the number of aircraft available in the airlines, fleet mix, number of aircraft variants. So some airlines is having the ATR, Airbus, Boeing, all the variants mix, and fleet utilization, whether it is used for the domestic flights or for the international flights. So international flights and aircraft age, whether the aircraft, all the aircrafts, aeroplanes are new or it's leased out from the other countries. So the MRO activities also depends upon the business model and ownership, which incurs huge cost. We can have the revenue of maximum cost from the MRO, then also the initial investment is high and a lot of technical delays for the procuring the major components and the minor components in the MRO. The industry share of the MRO activities, the 17% is line maintenance, 40% is the engine maintenance, and 22% in component overall and repair maintenance, and 21% is modification and base maintenance of the aircraft. See, what is line maintenance? Whatever the maintenance activities that is done on the aircraft to make the aircraft 100% serviceable, so that the engineers or technicians who are working on the aircraft ensuring that the aircraft is continuously flying. So like example, the activities, they are normal visual inspections. They go around, checks, see the aircraft or aero engines without any deformations or discrepancies, or opening the panels, having the simple checks. Because we are using these activities carried out on the parking station, aircraft, aeroplane dock. So they are using only limited tools, limited ground equipments, like example, replenishing of fuel, replenishing of oil, replenishing of hydraulic fluid, and checking of the air tire pressure, landing gear checks, checking of the engine, all the activities covered in the line maintenance. And also the defect investigation. Suppose pilot has reported the defect that can be rectified and the aircraft should be offered for the flying. And troubleshooting, component replacement. These are also the activities that is involved in the line maintenance. Not only that, suppose modifications, some of the modifications which are mandatory that can be supplied by the manufacturers, that modification are also carried out in the line maintenance. Apart from that, the DGCA is the wholesale civil authority in India. They can also give the airworthiness directives and service bulletins. These with the discretion of DGCA and also the discretion of quality control manager. But because these activities are carried out in the base maintenance, but these can be also carried out with the discretion of DGC and quality control manager of the particular company. It can be done on the line maintenance itself. So these are the activities, line maintenance done by the engineers, which may be the mechanical side or avionics side. So base maintenance, whatever the activities which are not done in the line maintenance that are carried out in the as a base maintenance. Aircraft overall, engine overall. For example, engine overall, suppose engines, when the operational flying hours is expired, the engine is coming for the overall. So in the MRO of the engine, so they receive the engine and this engine is unpacked. And because these base maintenance activities are done in the big hangar, the hangar is equipped with cranes, lot of special equipments for the engine receiving, engine dismantling, because the engine is stripped into the various components like a compressor separate, combustion chamber, turbine blades, all the entire engine is stripped into each and every component, and these components will be dispatched to the various types of cleaning process. After cleaning process, it will go to the inspection bay. There are various special sophisticated instruments starting from digital microscope, digital micrometer, digital vernier caliper, go no gauges. There are the various X-ray machines, NDT testing machine, all the inspection has to be done for the components. Then it can be dispatched to the repair section. When it goes to the repair section, any crack is there, they can weld it, anything, any dents, any burrs, any corrosion remnants, suppose the plating is gone, they will do the electroplating. All the activities, repair activities are done in the repair section and it is well documented. After repair, again it comes for the post inspection. They will do the post inspection. After the post inspection, it will be dispatched to the assembly. Assembly section, they will have the various fixers and jigs for assembling the entire engine. If you go into the rotable side, they will have a jigs and fixture for the assembling of all the components, whether it's a fuel pump, oil pump, AC generator, DC generator, whatever the components are there in the rotable side, they will use the various jigs and fixtures and assemble it and goes to the testing. Testing means for component sides, they will do the testing in the test rigs. They ensure that particular component, whether which is working okay or not. Because whether which is working with a specific condition as it is working along with the aeroplane. Like that. In the case of engine, it will dispatch to the engine test house. There is a big test house where the engine is fitted in the test bed and they operate the engine with the full thrust. They give the cruising speed, everything, all the parameters of the engine can be monitored, and it is also recorded in the logbook. And also for each, there is a group called the people are working in the group like a process planning group. They do all the documentation in the logbooks. Several logbooks are used, and they can make the entry in the survey because they are giving new life to the engine and new life to all the components in the fitted engine. Finally, this is passed out from the MRO. All the works are carried out by the base maintenance peoples. They are all possessing the authorization from the maintenance organization and having the license of the various categories and also having the license of category C that is issued from the DGCA. Because whatever the work they do, mechanics or technicians, engineers, in whatever the works maintenance activity, that should be endorsed on his license. So when you come into the avionic maintenance, see the avionic maintenance, the maintenance activities carried out on the avionic equipments. There are various instruments in the flight deck, radar, radio equipments, communication equipments, fly-by-wire system, autopilot, CVR, FDR, and entertainment system, integrated modular avionics. So all the components are functionally tested. If it is any replacement required, that is replaced, or any calibration is required, it can be sent to the calibration center. All the activities are carried out in the avionics maintenance. See, for doing all the maintenance, the individual, the candidate should possess, in case of line maintenance, they should have the category A, B1, B2, B3 licenses. In case of base maintenance, the individual candidate should have the category C license. Further, these licenses are divided into the subcategories like A1, B1, 1.2. This is depends upon the aeroplanes fitted with the engines. Suppose aeroplane fitted with the turbine engine, they will have the A1, B1.1. Aeroplanes fitted with the piston engine, A2, B1.2. Helicopters fitted with the turbine engine, A3, B1.3. Helicopters fitted with the piston engine, A4, 1.4. So for the category B3 license, only for the pressurized aeroplane of the 200 kg maximum, less than maximum takeoff mass of the 2000 kg. See, the base for doing the base maintenance, the particular candidate or engineer should have the category C license. For doing the line maintenance, they should have the category A or B1. This B2 is exclusive for the avionics people, and category A, category B1, and category B3 for the mechanical people. These licenses are issued by the DGCA because they are having the rules and regulation of CAR 66. They have formulated this CAR 66 at par with the international standard like FAR regulations and ESA regulations. See, the aircraft maintenance engineer also, they are grouped into the three categories. The engineers or technicians, they work on the aircraft with the multi-engine aeroplane, helicopter, aircraft fitted with the fly-by-wire systems, and aircraft recurring type rating. They are all grouped into the group one. They can say, suppose if you work in Airbus, you can go into the, on experience base, you can switch over to other variant of the aeroplane also. You will be called as a master, that is group one aircraft maintenance engineer license. If in case of group two, the single turboprop engine aeroplanes or single turbine engine helicopters or single, the group 2C is single piston engine helicopters. They are coming under the group 2 category. For group 3 category, the piston engine aeroplanes, other than which are not mentioned in this group 1, that comes under the group 3 license. See, we are, what are the privileges of the licensor? Suppose if the candidate, he is applying for the category A license, what is his privilege? What is his duties? So he can issue the certificate of release after doing the small maintenance, minor scheduled maintenance. He can do the small defect rectifications, which is not required troubleshooting or special equipment and all. And these activities that should be endorsed on his license as per the rule 133B. So category license holder can do the simple minor scheduled checks and also simple defect rectifications. Category B1 license holder, he can issue the certificate of release, and also he can act as a supporting staff to work on the aircraft structure, power plant, mechanical and electrical system. In case of electrical, that is avionics systems, he can do the simple test to check the serviceability, not for the troubleshooting and all, but that should be endorsed on his license. So category A for the mechanical, category B1 also mechanical. In case of the category B2 license, so he can, the avionics engineer, he can do the maintenance on avionics, electrical system, avionics, and electrical system with the engine. Only for the mechanical system, he can do the simple test, not requiring the special equipments at all. See, and he can also authorized by for the doing the checks on the mechanical system by the maintenance organization, means he can work in the maintenance organization with the mechanical license also. So category B2 for the avionics. Category B3 for the mechanical, he can also issue the certificate of release and do the work on the maintenance on the structure, engine, and mechanical electrical system. So the electrical system, he can do the only simple tests to prove the serviceability, and this B3 license is exclusively for the aeroplanes fitted with the piston engine and the takeoff mass below 2000 kg. In case of category C license, he can do the whatever the activities is not done in the line maintenance, that can be done in the overall agency. Say they should have, these people should have the category C license. See, simple test means, so the test that is done on the aeroplane, by, like an example, moving the controls and pushing the button, battery check, these all, and do the checks by using the built-in test equipment, byte equipment, or maintenance computer. These are called simple test. Suppose B3 category C license, suppose one candidate is starting his entrepreneurship, he is starting the big workshop, he can have the, he's an engineer, degree holder, he can have the category C license alone, but he can employ the B1, B2, or B2, B3 people, mechanics, all he can employ. He can give the training, on-job training, training to that particular candidates, and they can also certify after doing the work in the overall agency. They can sign it, and overall the certificate is signed by the person who is possessing the category C license. See, what is the knowledge requirement for getting this A license, B1, B2, B3? There are knowledge level is divided to level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 means the candidate or the fellow, he should know the simple terms, definitions, and he can apply simple concept by giving small practical application. That is the level of knowledge 1. Level 2, he must have the theoretical knowledge, theoretical fundamentals, and also the general procedure about the systems, and he can prepare the small drawings, and he can interpret the whatever the wiring diagram, whatever the schematic diagram of hydraulic system, fuel system, oil system, any electrical system, instrument system, he can interpret the drawings, and he can apply his knowledge with this available, with whatever he procured the knowledge, theoretical knowledge and general procedures. Okay, but level 3, the detailed knowledge in theoretical fundamentals, not only the system, and he has to have the interrelated with the other subjects also. Suppose he is the mechanical, he must have the other avionics system also. And he has to apply his knowledge for the troubleshooting purpose, for making the corrective action in the logical and comprehensive manner. He has to interpret the results from the various resources. He has to refer the manufacturer. So detailed knowledge is required for the level 3. For level 1, only simple definitions and simple knowledge. But level 2, theoretical fundamental and general procedure about the system, about the interpretation of schematic drawing, about, but level 3, detailed knowledge, and he has to apply his knowledge, and he has to read the various manufacturing instructions, and read the various resources, measurements, and apply appropriately in case of troubleshooting, and all. He has to give the corrective action to fix the cause of failure in case of the troubleshooting purpose. So these knowledges required, these 3 type of knowledges we are having in this B.Sc Honors Aircraft Maintenance program. So whatever the knowledge, level 1, level 2 knowledge, which is acquired by the candidates, by the subjects, all the subjects related to the license exam, that is given in this B.Sc Honors Aircraft Maintenance syllabus. This is a choice-based credit system having 3-year degree course, consists of 6 semesters, total credits 148. In that, core subject is 40, general elective is 4, discipline specific elective is 4, ability enhancement subject is 2, and ability enhancement elective course is 2. So the hierarchy of the instructional unit, so they teach about all the experienced, well-experienced and knowledgeable, highly qualified faculties are in the department. They teach about the aerodynamics, aircraft power plants, and the electronics, and also the workshop practices, skill level, because practical. Here the 50% theory and 50% practical. So they can teach whatever theory occurred in the subject that can be taught in the practical classes. So this is the details of the course. So 14 core subjects have each subject have the 4 credits, so 56. The practical is having the 2 credit, the 14 into 2. The discipline specific theory have the 4 subjects, 4 credit. The discipline specific practical 2 credits. The generic theory that is elective generic have the 4 credits. Practical have the 2 credits. The total comes 148 credits. See, what are the subjects covered in the first semester? The first semester, suppose you are enrolling in this course, first semester, you are going to study aircraft structure and associated systems, aerodynamics, and the general electives. There are 6 subjects are there, but we have to choose only 4. In the first semester, we have selected the general elective mathematics and ability enhancement course. There are 2 subjects is there. First semester, we are teaching the English communication and allied practicals. And second semester, the general elective is physics and the ability enhancement is environmental science. The other subjects are electrical fundamental, then allied electrical lab 2 credits, electronic fundamental digital technique, then we will have the electron lab. The general elective 2 is the physics. See, there is only one math subject in this that comes in the first semester, and there is no mathematics. So the people, those who are struggling in mathematics, they can simply take this course and they can concentrate in all the maintenance subjects. So third semester, we will have the aircraft materials hardware, that is core, and electrical fundamental 2, gas turbine engine. Then discipline specific elective is piston engine and propeller. General elective is chemistry. So general elective, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and one more paper is there, environmental science. See, the allied labs are there in the third semester. Then fourth semester, you will have the discipline specific elective is rotorcraft and the rotorcraft autopilot. Elective is corrosion and NDT techniques. So there is 4 electives. The 4th elective is corrosion and NDT techniques. See, other subjects are electronic fundamental, aircraft maintenance practices, aircraft structure, and the related practicals in the electronics lab, maintenance lab, and aircraft system lab. So in 5th semester, you will have the discipline-specific elective airline human factors, and the other subject workshop practices. You will have all the airframe repair, everything can be done in the workshop practices, structure and systems, and the DSC, discipline-specific elective is the human factors, and avionics subject is there, the lab is avionics. In 6th semester, you have to do a skill enhancement course. There are 4 activities. So, and also the discipline specific elective transducer sensors. This discipline, the skill enhancement course, they have to do it. The 2 activities having the 2 credits. So the total 8 credits in the skill enhancement course that we are going to give within our our department. Otherwise, people are willing, that can be sent to we have the tie-up with the other airlines company and all. So they can be sent for the internship training for the only 2 activities, not more. For 1.5 months, we can send to them for getting the training within India or abroad. So this is the course. Okay, this diagram shows that when you enter the B.Sc honors course with the basic eligibility 10+2, the requirement is physics, chemistry, mathematics, average 50%. Okay, so when you start with that, the basic eligibility, the PCM 50%, this is government norms, so that you can easily appear for the government, this DGC exams, along with the semester exams. Whatever we are covering in the semester, that you are going to write in the, because syllabus is same, you are going to write the modular exam for procuring the license that will fetch you good employment in the airlines, MRO, airport, and other sections. See, in the first and second semester, you are having the basic subjects, And this we have discussed in the first semester. And also the generic elective and ability enhancement also included in first and second semester. The third semester, fourth semester, fifth semester, all core subjects. The core subjects, we have aircraft materials, piston engine, gas turbine engine, workshop practices, avionics, ground handling, and also you will have the generic elective, 2 papers, and discipline specific elective like piston engine, rotor aircraft, helicopters, and human factors, transducers, and sensors. Semester 6, you will have the skill enhancement. That is, you have to do the 4 activities after 2 credits, the 4 into 2, total 8 credits. So that can be done within our department, or we can do it in other airlines company within India or abroad. So the employment is one unique feature is there for the modular exam. At the end of semester 1, before the end of semester 1, so with the you getting the verification certificate from the students, and also with the mark sheet, we will apply to the DGCA for getting the computer number. Since this computer number is for your entire life for writing these modular exams. So when you get the computer number, you can start writing the modular exam. You can appear for the DGCA exams. So there are 17 modulars are there. So one by one you can clear before the completion of the graduation. When you do the graduation, see, you are directly, you will get the opportunities in the MRO, airlines, airport, cargo, logistics. See, the credits are given here. The sharing of the credits are shown here. See, what are the skill enhancement activities that is related to the fixed wing heavy aircraft, that you can get it from the even airlines. We have the tie-up with the Indigo Airlines, and we can have the MOU with the other companies. So the fixed wing heavy, light, and helicopters, we have the Eurocopter, which is a serviceable one. So we will be training you in the helicopters and the avionics systems, these and all aircraft, and also the component engine, gas turbine engine, and this and all component maintenance. We will have the landing gear maintenance, pneumatic system maintenance, wheel and brake component maintenance. We will have the tie-up with the Blue Dot, so we can do it wheel and brake component. These are the skill enhancement activities will be done in the 6th semester. See, I discussed about the modular exams, modularization, because now government has the DGCA regulated, because they removed the old license pattern. Earlier, the license pattern was paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and paper 4 is specialization. Now they removed that, and they regulated, they formulated the CAR 66, and they also formulated the CAR 66 at par with the ESA and FAR regulations. And they categorize these are the models to be completed, so that they can easily take the knowledge and will become the technicians or AME in the industry. See, these are the module 1 mathematics. These mathematics, because as you have completed +2, need not to appear for the mathematics physics. Then there is a module 3, module 4, module 5, and all the subjects, whatever cover in the B.Sc program, that is the syllabus, and everything is same for the modular, these modular exams. Because the UGC has already formulated the syllabus because of the requirement of the skilled manpower in the aviation industry. So they have made the syllabus, and the same syllabus is for the, because this is the unique opportunity in the B.Sc program for writing the modular exam along with the semester exam. What we designed the semester exam, like a 50% MCQ and 50% theory, that will be useful for writing the MCQ pattern of exam in the modular exam. See example, see this is the modular exam, some matrix I have shown. See, if you want to have the B1 aeroplane with the turbine engine, you have to clear the tick mark I have given. See, you suppose you want to have the A or B1 aeroplane with the turbine engine, you have to clear the models 3, 4, 5, 6, 7A, and 8, 9A, then 10, 11, 11A. Suppose you want to have the avionics engineer, then you have to clear the tick mark I given model 3, model 4, model 5, model 6, model 7. This is the matrix of the model. See, all the models you need not to clear. You can clear, you can sell first. Then after that, with the experience, you can switch over to one category of license to, suppose if you have the category A, you are the chance to have with your experience requirement, you can switch over to B1 and B2, B3 for any category of license. Even you can switch over the aeroplane, type of aeroplane, from the Boeing to the Airbus, ATR to the Airbus, only the experience required. See, in case of one example I given, basic aerodynamics. This is the subject. Modular exam is 8. See, the subject, the syllabus is given. I already discussed about the level 1, level 2, level 3 knowledge. See, in case of A license, so you require only the level 1 knowledge in the aerodynamics. So aerodynamics subject, for getting the A license, you will have the level 1 knowledge. That is, you must know the principal concept, definitions, simple terms like that. Suppose if you have the B2 license, you will have the level 2 knowledge. This is the example I showed. Why the level 1, level 2, level 3 knowledge, which will be useful for writing the modular exams of the various categories of the license. See, this is the marks. The marks, how they are giving. For the electrical fundamentals, suppose you want to write the category A, only 20 questions are there, only 25 minutes time. So 20 questions only, 25 minutes, you can easily clear one model of electrical fundamentals in category A. Suppose if you go for the category B2, you will have the 52 questions, only 65 minutes. So if you write the 52 questions within a minute and the passing percentage is 70%, then you can clear the model. So whatever the modular exam pattern is there, same pattern also we are framing for the B.Sc honors program in our department. See, these are the application numbers we are going to use. First, we will use this CA form 1907 for getting the computer number for writing the modular exam. Suppose you got the license, so initial use of license is 01, form number 01. In case of extension of license, you will have the form number 2. In case of renewal of license, you will have the form number 3. Suppose if you are going to other country, you want to convention, then form number, CA form number 14. These are the forms available. Now you are completing all the degree program and modular exam. The form number 19-11 is, if you apply to the DGCA, they will issue one basic knowledge examination certificate with the degree. With this certificate, if you go into any company, definitely they will take you. See, this is the estimate given for the employability opportunity, because in the airport, you will have the 26,900. This is given up to by 2035 in thousands. So total vacancies are the 11 lakh, some 20,000 vacancies are there up to 2035. It is subdivision is given for airport 26,900, airlines 35,000. There is a segment-wise share of employment, 23% in the airport. Whatever the degree got it, you can go for the further training. If you go, then you will become as a pilot and all. So pilot, other flight crew, cabin crew, MRO, ticket and also sales. With the only degree, without license, jobs are there. The airline, you will have the airside management, terminal management, cargo engineering maintenance, and safety. MRO, you will go as a technicians, operation support services, planning, quality assurance, and security. Cargo department, you will go as ground operations, documentations, and HR and admin, finance and marketing, Even IT you can enter for the tech publications like Infosys, Safran, Quist. There are so many L&T, Tech Mahindra. They are all having the aero projects and tech publications with the only one degree having the aircraft maintenance knowledge. So you can join in the IT also. See, if you are having the license, you can work as a AME, you can work as a technician, but in case of MRO, you can have the authorization alone enough to the work. If suppose, if you join in the Car 147 maintenance organization, they will train you, they will give you the authorization, that will be endorsed on your license book, then you can authorize to work in the MRO. Suppose that the MRO maintenance organization wanted, you must complete 2-3 models, then you are writing the modular exam and completing the models with your graduation, and they can train you and you will work in the MRO. So there are a lot of opportunities are there with this course, and up to 2035, there are 11 lakhs figure is shown here. See, what are the infrastructure? See, we are having the state-of-art infrastructure in our department. This is the aerospace hangar. You will have the feeling of working in the aerospace hangar when you join and come to the department. All the laboratories like a structural lab, fluid mechanics lab, aerodynamics lab, you will have the engines, aircraft engines, aeroplanes, everything accommodated in the hangar. This is the Cessna aircraft. It's serviceable aircraft. So the students can do the demonstration, take the aircraft outside, run the aircraft, see all the parameters in the instruments, and you can open the panels, do the checks, and you can do the refueling. All the activities can be done on this aircraft. It is serviceable. And this helicopter also fitted with the 2 engines. It is the serviceable, and it can be much helpful for this helicopter, because you want to train it in the helicopter. You have the demonstration with the control lever, cyclic pitch lever, collective pitch lever, all the instruments with a 4-bladed rotor, main rotor, tail rotor. It is fully functionable. So you can give the ground and you can see all the parameters of the helicopter. And these are the various types of engines. We have the thrust major piston engine, turboprop engine, jet engine, landing gears. You can do all the removal fitment, and any repair can be done, and it can be useful for the study purpose. And also we will have the jet facilities, subsonic wind tunnel, supersonic wind tunnel inside the hangar. So this is the one of the engine, construction engine. The students can see the various construction details starting from the compressor, stator, rotor, combustion chamber, turbine, exhaust, and accessory gearbox, how the components are fitted, how the system is routed, everything detail you can study with this construction of the jet engine. And this is the turboprop engine. So you can do the pipeline removal fitment, components removal fitment, and all the practical purpose you can use the turboprop engine. So this is the simulator, Airbus simulator, 320 Airbus simulator. And also you can have the entire these flight deck instruments you can see inside this Airbus the simulator. So the students can see the demonstration, and they can work out with the various buttons, various gauges, various levers, see all the radar, radio, communication equipments, everything is there for the avionics study. And this is the subsonic wind tunnel. You can have the first semester you are having the aerodynamics. You can fit the small model of the aeroplane. You can see the pressure changes in the wing, and you can calculate the lift force, drag force, all the practical classes you can do with the subsonic wind tunnel. And we also have the supersonic wind tunnel. You can see the shock wave formation in the over the structure of wings. You can see it in the supersonic wind tunnel. So this is the another lab, material testing lab. You will have the Britnell honest number. This is the Britnell honest testing. Then ISO choppy impact testing. And this is the fatigue testing machine. And this one is the torsional testing. There are a lot of equipments are there. Only few equipments I am showing here. When you come and to the SRM Department of Aerospace Engineering, you can see all the infrastructure available in the department. See, this is the contact. That's all. This is the contact details. If you are interested, and also your friends are interested, so they can apply for the admission. The contact detail is given in the. Please note down this. The visit www.srmist.edu.in, and numbers are given. You can note down.
Okay, I will take over from Dr. Kattankulathur. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sivakumar sir, for your informative and excellent presentation on the overview of the whole course. Before taking questions from the attendees, I would like our alumni, Mr. Aman Johri and Mr. Lokesh Pantri, to share some of their experiences during their study and stay at SRMIST for a few minutes. So I would request alumni, Mr. Aman Johri, to take over and share his experiences during his stay at SRMIST. Mr. Aman, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. I think I can hear you. Can you guys hear me? Is this clear?
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Yes, we are able to hear you. It would be helpful if you can share
Yes,
some
sir,
of your experiences.
I'm just turning on the videos. Give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, sure.
Hello, sir. Can you see me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can see you.
Hello, sir. Thank you for that presentation. It was actually a very good insight into what is the situation for students today, especially the who are looking to get into MRO field. And we need a lot of, a new perspective when it comes to aviation MRO, especially in India. So a little bit, but about my background, I graduated from SRM Aerospace in 2016. And since then, I'm the CEO of a aerospace and defense firm in Bombay. We basically are into manufacturing and development of weapon systems. And I'm also the director at Aman Aviation, where we are basically doing aircraft MRO. That is general aviation, business aviation, and commercial aviation, all three combined, including some components relating to helicopters as well. And currently, I'm also under training for my FAA helicopter pilot license. So by the end of the year, I'll be certified to fly helicopters, mainly single engine Robinson helicopters. So that is what I have been doing for the last 5 odd years. And then a little bit about at least my time at SRM is that something I've had a good experience with personally is the first semester I interned at a helicopter MRO, namely Indamar Aviation in Bombay. And that was again one of those internships where I thought, as a young intern, you're just you just passed your first semester. You've not even done anything. It's just about 6 months. You've learned basics of engineering. You've learned basics of just generic engineering that everyone studies. So there's not much you can contribute and all that. And what I did was, unknowingly, of course, I did not have enough experience back then. Is Indamar Aviation is a small company. I mean, now it's pretty big. Now it's done joint ventures and collaborations with a lot of companies. But back then, I'm talking about 2012. The December of 2012 was when I interned. It was a very small company. It was handling maybe 11, 12 helicopters a year, and It was doing complete overhauls and checks of engine systems and hydraulics and pneumatics and all those things. And the advantage of interning with a small company versus interning with like a Boeing India or an Airbus India is that they allowed me to get a full spectrum of hands-on experience, because they already have, for 11 or 12 helicopters, they have about 20 engineers, which is not enough. And they were anyway, a lot of job roles are being distributed between the same people, and they were managing back then. It was a difficult time either way. And because I was a new intern there was no other intern. I thought, okay, maybe my perception was I would be made to do menial tasks. I would be made to take printouts and, bring coffee for the senior management and all that. But surprisingly, they gave me a very fresh access to components, to live helicopter components. That is, of course, with an oversight and supervisor over my head. There were 3 layers of management above me while I was doing. But I got to physically handle, swash plates and main rotor gears and tail rotor gears, and engines and all these, amazing components of a helicopter that I could study in very good practical detail. And that experience made me realize an important thing, that BTech will give you a very good insight into theory. It will help you understand design. It will help you understand why someone designed a component the way that they designed, and why in the future also these designs are prevalent and why they exist in the industry today. But a BTech course, a BTech degree, takes away one important thing from you, is that it will not make you as practically active, as hands-on as a BSc degree, a BSc aeronautics or something like that. And that was a very important realization for me. We have something called aircraft maintenance technicians, AMTs, AME courses basically. And AME courses, I'm pretty sure Dr. Sivakumar and everyone else will agree with me on this also, that with an AME course, the individual, the engineer is so well prepared and ready to work on field, that even just a one semester in an AME course, and they know what is a 5/6 inch spanner, and what is a torque wrench and how to work with those tools. And so that is something, that's an experience you can only get if you've done that course, or at least if you've done these kind of internships in these small organizations. Then the next step I decided was, after my second year, at the end of my second year, I said, okay, I want to do something big now. So I jumped to Air India. And then in between, I interned with, but the good thing, at least with me, was I never left a single holiday. We got November, December in the end of the year, and then we got June, July, August, middle of the year. I never left a single holiday up for vacation. I was interning in every single one of them. So I interned with Air India at the end of my second year. That was a big step, because suddenly from an organization of 20, 25 people, you're moving into an organization of 3,000 people. There are so many engineers. They're handling Boeing 777s, Boeing 737s. They're handling A320s. They have a jet engine shop. They have a hydraulic shop twice the size of the Indamar company itself. So suddenly you are stepping into this array where you're seeing a big company function. Now, that was not necessarily that people gave me a lot of freedom to work or whatever like that, but I had really good supervision. Like I say this to every student, whether you're an AME or whether you're BTech or BSc or whatever. If you are aeronautics, aerospace in India, you need to work with Air India once, at least to spend one summer or 2 months or 3 months with Air India, to understand how our national airline functions, to understand that there's a lot of support that goes behind the national airline. So not a lot of people know this, but Air India is a different company, and Air India Engineering Service Limited, AIESL, is a different company. So basically, I was working for AIESL, and AISL has the control of handling all the fleet and aircraft of Air India, and that was a beautiful experience in itself. I got to work with the Boeing 737s in real time, and it was genuinely a good experience. And then after this, after Air India was done, by the end of my third year, I did another big thing. Right before entering my final year, I said, okay, I've done a small company in the domestic side. I've dealt with a big company on the domestic side. Now, next, I need to deal with an international company, and a big one, because I need to understand how the world also works, right? If you're going to be a world-class engineer, you need to understand that the world is moving at a different standard than India. And there are some things that India is really good at. We have amazing frugal engineers on field. We solve problems very quickly. We solve problems quicker than most other international engineers. And I've noticed that Indian engineers are very quick on their feet. But also there are some things that the rest of the world is good at. And it is important for us to know where the world is heading and what are the best practices, what can we deploy and implement back in India. So by the end of third year, I interned for 3 months with Etihad Airways, that was in Abu Dhabi. Again, the engineering side of Etihad Airways. And in itself, the reason why it was a unique experience is because within the 3 months, most of the supervisors there were Indian, by the way. And I got really comfortable with the management team around that, and they gave me access to all their shops within 3 months. So I got like an umbrella holistic experience of pneumatics, hydraulics, call it avionics, call it electronics, even engine shops. Their engine shop is run by TSNS, which is Turbine Services and Solutions. And I got to work with CFM engines, with all kinds of General Electric turbofans, turboprops. In fact, I got a little bit of insight and experience with the Mirage 2000 aircraft also, the ones that UAE Air Force has. So that was a brief but really fun experience. And I think an important aspect of my experience with Etihad was working with the quality control department. I did about 15 odd days with the quality control, where I would be exposed to documentation and how paperwork is run, and how human resources and human factors interacts with MRO services on field. So that in itself was beautiful. I think the highlight of my experience with Etihad was working with the A380s, because they have a fleet of 8 A380 aircrafts, and one comes every once in 2 weeks for checks and overhauls and all that. So although the A380 is now retired and is now part of history, but it again was a unique insight into how the world operates. And that is important to understand that what can we bring back to India, what is the loopholes and gaps that are present in the Indian MRO industry today, and how can we help it develop. On the professional side, I think a very big impact that I've had and influence I've had is, and I encourage everyone, sir was telling me there are more than 500 600 people be going to watching this and being exposed to this talk. So you guys are free and welcome to join the Aero MRO Association of India, which I'm a part of. We are basically the voice of the industry when it comes to voicing the concerns of companies in the MRO space. And we have a very unique section for students and young entrepreneurs or young MRO engineers who are just stepping into aviation in India today. And we kind of give all of you guys a platform to express your views on technology, on whether you have research papers that you need help publish or get to the right places and spaces. Our Aero MRO Association magazines and articles, they go to the highest levels of government. They go all the way to the ministry, to the DGCA, and to everyone else. And basically, we'll give you a platform to make yourself shine if you think you really have metal in you to be a part of this industry. So that's what I joined in my professional space, and I've been working with the Aero MRO for about 5-6 odd years now, and it's going really strong. So overall, yes, although being an aerospace engineer right now, my master's degree is in astronautics from Purdue University, but being a part of the MRO industry has really shaped the way I approach practical problems on field today, whether it's engineering solutions or otherwise. So yeah, that's about me and that's about my experience. And I really encourage every one of you to be connected with the industry right from the start. Don't wait till you graduate, or don't wait till you apply to a course, get into a college before you think about the industry. At least the Indian aviation industry is waiting for people like you, like young children, to join in and be a part of this field. So yeah, that's about that, sir. And I'm open to questions if any.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Raman. Thank you for sharing your experiences during your course of study here and later after your course. Now I would request Mr. Lokesh Pantri to share a few experiences
Sir,
during.
sorry,
Yeah.
Bharadwaj sir, I want to talk with Aman.
Yes.
Aman, very good afternoon. I am from Directorate of Admissions, Venkat Narayanan. So, can you share with us how was your journey with SRM? How you how was your counseling? How was your teaching and other aspects like the clubs and chapters where you might have participated, and some more interesting aspects which you can which you remember definitely to share for the upcoming new students, because this forum is full of future students and parents and people who are looking forward to take their first step and decision to join SRMIST KTR, preferably for this aircraft maintenance. How do you differentiate? Because from engineering to aircraft maintenance as a engineering to science degree. So how you feel the difference? Because you are yourself on your own entrepreneur, and now you are pursuing your PhD in USA. Okay, you can throw some light on the angle, like how this course will be beneficial from the industry perspective, and your memories, if any, which you want to share from the aerospace engineering department.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. It's been a golden experience for me personally. The reason I feel I've personally pitch SRM to a lot of my friends and family also, and I want them to join this institution is because SRM has one unique vision that it comes from right from the senior management to whether you talk about our HODs and our department heads and our faculty heads, that they are focused on infrastructure, which is very important. A lot of universities would rather build classrooms and build fancy buildings and all that, but SRM is focused on developing infrastructure, at least for mechatronics, aerospace, and electrical, and all these the mechanical engineering schools that I'm personally aware of. And for example, the fab lab that was built about last year or the year before that, I personally, I loved seeing it, and I was wondering why did it not exist while I was in college. It would have been an amazing help to me personally. But it's a success story, and naturally, it is. It made the news, and that's all I can tell you. That the Fab Lab is a great way to help young kids innovate faster and innovate better. So I think the university focuses on that, and that is why I think it stands out. The reason it's been top of the ranking for so long is because of that, is because you're constantly thinking of adding newer things. We had the supersonic wind tunnel, we have the labs that are built within the hangar in itself, that came up while I was still in college, and even a few years after I graduated, and it's turned out to be really good. When it comes to personal life in the college, something or the other is always happening. The college is very lively. It is unlike a lot of other big campuses in India, where you would have 600 700 acres worth of land, and you would barely see 15,000-20,000 people. But SRM, the strength of the institute comes from its numbers. It's the sheer amount of smart people that you have within the institute at any given point in time. It makes it very lively and a good environment to gel yourself. It's not a coincidence that a lot of students, after joining in their first semester, also decide not to go back home. They say, we'd like to stick around, we'd like to stay within the university environment for whatever 3-4 years at a stretch, some that I know of. So that's another good thing. I think in the future, if you're looking at B.Sc, if the students are looking at this course and looking at an aircraft maintenance course, then you need to understand the critical difference between a B.Tech and a B.Sc degree, or a B.Tech and an AME degree. Is that, like I said before, an AME degree will prepare you for practical work on field. It will make your hands and your mind and your hand-eye coordination exactly to what is required in the industry today. A B.Tech does not do that for you. A B.Tech will not equip you for practical hands-on experience. A B.Tech is more, inclined towards research, towards design studies, towards analysis. A B.Tech degree will force you to think, why is the aircraft working in front of you? The B.Tech degree is not going to teach you how to fix the aircraft that is having a problem in front of you. Although yes, there is, that being said, nothing is absolute. What I am not trying to mean is that B.Tech students can't go in maintenance and maintenance can't go to design and analysis research work. That is not the case. In fact, I've seen plenty that shift careers and switch careers very frequently. But that being said, you really have to look at the market now. The pandemic has hit the industry badly, and it's going to remain like this for about 4 few months at least, maybe even a year or so, where we've seen the bigger airlines, send off their aircrafts and pack up half of their fleet. So this is something you should look at. In fact, in this industry, it's a very highly regulated industry. So you need to understand that licensing and regulation is very important. That is, no matter where you come from, you need licenses to work for any component that you're trying to touch, especially in an aircraft. So, I really urge even B.Tech students to further look at getting their aircraft training licenses. Sir, very properly mentioned, the proper details of every B1 category, B2, B3, and all these categories. So I encourage B.Tech students as well. If you really want to work hands-on with an aircraft and touch an aircraft while you're working, you need to have your proper licenses in place. So a lot of students think, oh, we have to give DGC examinations again and this and that, but that's a must. That is the same case even if you go to Europe or you go to the Gulf, or if you go to the US, there too you have to give examinations to work on MRO side. So I encourage all the SRM students to do this, to look at this aspect of stepping into at least the MRO field. We are always open and with welcoming arms all the young children who want to get into this field, because often you see them, all these young maintenance technician engineers, once they have proper 10 or 15 years of experience under their belt, they go on to become entrepreneurs because they are naturally problem solvers. They've spent all their careers day in and day out just solving problems, which a B.Tech does not. B.Tech still takes 5 or 6 years, early stages of the gestation, to get into the problem solving phase. So when they become entrepreneurs, they have a very different, fresh perspective towards things. So naturally, it is a great step that everyone has taken, and really hats off to the department for really encouraging this and especially fast tracking this process. Because I understand that primarily being a B.Tech college and offering a degree other than the B.Tech course and syllabus itself is a very difficult task. But just within a year and a half worth of discussion, and it's already underway, and it's already seen this much success in the early stages, and I can't wait to see what it promises in the future. My just last suggestion and recommendation to the faculty, if you're, for whoever is listening, especially for the aerospace faculty, is I think we should start giving a taste of the simulator to the students. We should really have them, start sitting on the simulator and understand how it works. We have a beautiful asset in the hangar. I think the faster it is in function and the faster it can get moving, we can really make a big impact, especially in the aerospace industry in India today. You talk about our biggest competitors in aerospace, you talk about UPS, Dehradun, or you talk about BIT, or so many other colleges have aerospace, courses, and they're offering B.Tech in aerospace. But if we can give them the real taste of the simulator, that would be fantastic. We already have one engine, if I'm not wrong, of the 2 engines of the helicopter working, with which we can, fire up the rotors, and we can do a lot of experimentation work on it as well. So yeah, there's a lot of plans that I personally have for SRM also in the near future, where I have proposed the building of an airstrip in the nearby field where we can start an aviation program, a full-fledged aviation program. Maybe getting the piloting course takes another 3-4 years, but to start with, a basic microlight course or a glider course it's really going to change and impact the industry a lot, and especially the institute itself.
Okay, thank you, Aman. Bharadwaj sir, you can take over.
Yes. I would request Mr. Lokesh Pantri to share his experiences when he was studying his B.Tech at SRMIST. So how he spent his 4 years, how was the both academic as well as extracurricular life here at SRMIST. I would like to share. I would like.
You guys can hear me?
Request. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, clear. Thank you. Firstly, I'm quite happy to see all the panelists. When the aerospace engineering batch was launched in the year 2007, I think we were a batch of 44 students, and then Professor L.R. Ganpati was there. We were initially headed by HOD Dr. Balakrishnan, who was the head of the IIT Madras. And then shortly after that, couple of years, Dr. Vasudevan took over. I think the journey has been really amazing. Before I get on to where I am right now, I would just want to touch base on what were my dreams when I really reached SRM. Okay, I think really the guys who were gonna join this university or thinking of joining this university, it's very important to see because um, un, until you get the job, until you get to the industry, from the point when you think that you want to be a part of it. So that means being a student, let's be a 12th grader right now, thinking that hey, I must do this course, and then after this course, this is what I would be doing. So this university, when we get to a university, it university plays a major role in filling that gap in and getting you there. So when I showed up at the university, I think fantastic experience. We had this SRM triple E exam. We got shortlisted. We came over for a counseling. We were a batch of 44. I think it was newly launched department. Everyone was really in a situation that whether or not the aerospace is right industry to get in, are there jobs? Are there no jobs? What's happening around there? So I think it was quite a batch of an ambitious guys, and I think all of those guys who want to be a part of aviation industries, guys, one thing that will really pull you off is your ambition and passion. I think people who would anyway survive. We had quite a lot of number of guys who were interested in aviation, but mostly when they passed out, um, quite few of them got into maybe some IT companies, although still doing the aerospace jobs. Maybe the Mahindra Aerospace while designing an aircraft with Airbus, or maybe TCS Aerospace, Mahindra Aerospace. Some of them of my colleagues are right now in the aerodynamic division of the car manufacturing industries. Some of them are right now pursuing PhDs or already doctorates, working with NASA. A couple of guys out there, and another batch of me, for example, myself, one of my friend Hakimuddin, who are heading the aviation division with IATA, which is the head body of International Air Transport Association. I am myself right now the head of the cargo division in the Philippines. But I will quickly take you back of the university time because that's what's important, right? So when we started, obviously clueless what's going to happen for the 4 years and what does university give you. So firstly, you get to know people from around the country, and not just around the country. I think we had a couple of international guys from around the world. So I think that was very enriched experience that we had when I really got into the SRM University. So we talk about the aviation side or the curriculum side there, but the extracurriculars were also there because those were the ones who really groom you out to manage out the external forces when you go out and do, let's say, a presentation, maybe standing up to the crowd and speaking, public speaking, and those are the ones who actually groom you in there. So a lot of stuff was happening in SRM, which took care of the other side. Talking about the curriculum, the facilities that we have right now, I wish we had then. Back then we had something like a wind tunnel that was really getting modeled up. We were thinking about the supersonic wind tunnels, and a couple of those aircraft that we see right now were not there. And I was quite happy when I was with one of those speaking sessions somewhere around 2013 or 14. We were incorporating those things. Those were live aircrafts that we were getting onto the universities. I was quite excited because that is what was not there in that time. So from there to now, we have an alumni like I think Aman Jory, which already covered a lot of points on the technical side. I think really a lot of alumni is out there, and the focus, whether you are doing a B.Sc on the technical side or whether you're doing a B.Tech, doesn't really matter. You really need to get on the ground. You really need to get onto this engine of doing those internships. Whether I did my internships at Air India, I did my internship with what was that called? Hindustan Aeronautics Division, wherein we were building the Sukhoi aircraft and there was engines. I could really get all those hands-on experience right there. So the question trickles down to is how good can you get those hands-on experience, and that needs to get through these things. So that's the really essential part. So I ended up doing a fantastic project with a bigger team. I did my internship, which really got me to the ground and a quick understanding of, all right, this is what I need, this is what I don't need, this is the exposure that I have in terms of building an aircraft, or this is how in the engineering division of Air India would look like. I think Aman Jory already highlighted that some people need to get an experience with the Air India. So Air India comes in as a limelight. Why? So he covered the national topic, whether how big is it at the national level. I think I want to go international because that's more I've seen. Air India or our facilities on the ground are from the time where in Air India was to be called flag carrier. Back in the time where the foundation of Lufthansa, Air Canada, British Airways, Air India, all those guys were coming in. Those were flag carriers. They were not just the airline, but the strength of a country in the air. And that's when those divisions or those air repair and those overhaul areas started to come up. And they are, I think, the state of the art. They're one of those big ones that people could just get onto and get on some hands-on experience. So if someone got to get it, I mean, that's somewhere there. I think a lot of our guys, a lot of our alumni are out there, and Air India also launches this fellowship program from time to time. And it's not just Air India. Air India was there, but now you have Indigo, you have SpiceJet, you have GoAir, you also have Vistara, you have many other airlines pulling up. So there is really not a thing to worry about whether if I don't get Air India, what's going to happen there. So that's not really a worry. I think you have a fantastic alumni. I think the industry is really looking for people as we grow. So that is what is really going to be very, very interesting. So for me, when I completed my bachelor's in B.Tech, particularly in the aerospace engineering, I moved on to Italy to do my airlines and airport management in Italy with Lewis Business School. So it's in the top 20 in the B school. While pursuing my aviation MBA out there, I covered majority of the topics from technical to management to everything that relates to aviation industry. And I also ended up getting an awarded degree from European Commission while working with the EASA, which was the International Human Resource Management. Because guys, as you go up the line, you would realize it's not just a job that you got to manage. You got to manage the people, and they manage the job for you. So that's how it was working out. And in my exposure moved on to not just the engineering or the research areas, but more or less expanding it onto the side of what's an importance of Power 145, what's an importance of engineering, what's an importance of aviation law, various other aspects. And after completing that, I moved on to IATA. IATA is the international body for all the airlines. All the airlines, most of the legacy carriers are IATA accredited. So it's the head body of the airline which rules out laws and governing guidelines for all the airlines. So that's where I was. I was with the cargo division there. That's where I really started my career in the aviation. So I started from there. I moved on to Lufthansa Cargo, which is where I touched base with the maintenance, repairs, and overhaul. What I was doing particularly was taking the aspect of the engineering side and seeing from a trajectory side that, let's say, when an aircraft needs to go up in the air, we need to balance few factors. One is the fuel efficiency. Like it's very important that you save the fuel because you got to make money. It's all about making money at the end of the day. Okay, how the airline is going to make money out of that damn aircraft? It's all about that. So it starts with how less you're going to consume the fuel. Second is the trajectory. How are you going to fly that from one point to the another? Which aircraft are you going to choose from time to time? And which is going to be the best for the trajectory? And the third aspect, which is the environment. How best to reduce those emissions so that you could take an overall thing. So you choose, like as an airline where I sit right now, I make a decision based on my area needs this aircraft. So what I'm going to say right now is going to give you a picture of the licenses that you guys take right now, or the aircraft maintenance engineering would take right now. I'm trying to connect the dots from your license point to what industry really needs. Okay, so we have the commercial jets, we have the helicopters. Even in the commercial jets, we have various areas. The private jets, which will be possibly small twin-engine aircraft. So then we have a bigger jets, which we fly single body aircraft or wide body aircraft, which would be as big as a 380 to a 777s to 787s to whatever. Now, when we start doing our aircraft engineering, or particularly to focus on the B.Sc side, we got to focus, or as we move from first to second to third year, which is the area that you would really want to go to. Let's say if you ended up happening to be a part of Qatar Airways, the idea would be, all right, what kind of fleet do we have? So this is what you got to start doing as a student, and I think the university would automatically prepare you for that. Say, all right, this is what you're going to be a part. This is what the industry is active right now. We have a presence of helicopter flyers, commercial airliners, maintenance and overall, and these guys are out there. This is what is needed right now, and that comes the requirement of the licenses based on what is flying right now. So one of the questions that possibly could be thrown up is where the industry is going. And when I started studying in the university, we had really no idea whether or not, or how would we get a job in aerospace, because it's a very research-oriented job. India was not ready, even though our university promised. But I think eventually what you see right now is, from today, let's say when your course was launched, from the point it goes to the end. Right now in the COVID scenario, we've seen ourselves, the industry had adjusted. We started in March, and I've been very much adaptive for my own area for Philippines, and I've worked with the head body with Qatar Airways itself. Like, I think right now Qatar Airways is the biggest airline in the air, both cargo and passenger. Nobody's flying the aircraft as we're doing, whether it's business jets or whether it's commercial jets out there. And the things that we could actually, the strength that we could get from is because of the maintenance, repair, and overhaul, the right fleet, the right guys who could manage it. So basically, this is where the industry is going right now. So in 2 to 3 months, we were up in the air again with the right sets of equipment, with the right sets of safety in terms of how can the contamination or COVID cannot be spread or things like that. I think those are the steps that industry would take to quickly get back on the air. Everyone's taking steps. So medium to short term, you're looking at 3 months to 6 months to a year. That's when a short term that we see that industry will recover. So for now, whatever we were flying, we would possibly see a 20 to 40% of a gap in the year time. But should we worry as a student? Maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe not, because we're not looking at 1 year getting a job. We're looking at 3 years from now getting a job. By the time, in 2-3 months, we were up with our aircrafts flying out there. But you're looking at 3 years then. Industry would be well evolved. Focus will be well evolved. And people need to go from one point to the another, and that has to happen regardless. My aircrafts are full. Everything is pumping. So that stuff is already balanced out with time. So if the worry may come in on your side, whether or not you should be worried about it, I think let's focus on what would be the requirement of the future, get yourself trained accordingly. And I don't really think that's a worry. I think you should be worried only if you were in the last year of engineering or B.Sc science, and today was the day you're going to pass it and you're hitting the COVID scenario. I think you should be worried. But you're looking 3 years from now. I think right time the course is launched. So I think the university will already take into requirement of what is needed in the industry, and they would accordingly groom you. So I think that's something that I will really contribute from my side, that what industry really reads from this side. And then you guys will be trained accordingly. I think that's what SRM is there for. So, and it's a fast moving university, very big size. Changes things can be brought into SRM University within no time. It's not something that you see thinking and then it would take ages and years to come. I think it's something that's moving really fast paced, and I am pretty proud of that. Back in the time when I joined the university, we were somewhere in top 20s or something there, but I think right now we stand quite number one in autonomous and I think counting. And not just that, at that time, we had an exchange programs with Massachusetts, with Purdue, with God forsake, all great universities in the world. And I think for sure you're going to get that similar kind of exposure, and you have a great team out there and a fantastic alumni, and you guys can always reach out. So from my end, guys, I think we got to buckle up for what will be the new industry requirements would be. And I think industry is evolving. You really need not worry about it. Changes will come. You guys will get adapted. There's still much time. And aviation is only for enthusiasts, guys. For lighthearted, it's not the place. So that's what my recommendation will be. I will leave the floor to questions if there are any. That's it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mr. Lokesh Pantri, for sharing your experiences, both during your academics as well as during your industrial, during your work. Now I will open the floor for questions. We will take some questions from the attendees. First, there are some questions typed in this question and answer session. Question and answer window. First, I will read the questions. Probably, I would request Dr. S Sivakumar to answer the students or the attendees questions. There's a first question from Yashvi Biswas.
Okay.
The question is, please tell us if B.Tech students have similar opportunities as B.Sc honors in aerospace.
Okay, they have a similar opportunity. They can write the modular exams anytime, because the basic eligibility is now only 10+2 with the PCM 50%. Okay, so anytime they can get the computer number and they can start writing the modular exam. Equal chances is there for B.Tech Aerospace also.
Okay, I will go to the second question from an anonymous attendee. The question is, do B.Sc aircraft maintenance has good scope, and is it possible to become a pilot after B.Sc aircraft maintenance?
Yeah, it's good because he will have the thorough knowledge about the aircraft and maintenance activity. So after the B.Sc, if he goes for pilot training, he is already graduated with the aircraft, aero engine, all the systems, avionics, thorough knowledge in that, and along with some modular exam. Even he need not to clear. Once you go for the pilot, need not to clear modular exams. He can go with the graduation with the detailed knowledge about the aircraft structure, aircraft systems, aircraft engine, and how the aerodynamics. With the knowledge, he can go for the pilot course. So he can enroll in the B.Sc. After B.Sc, he can, if he is going for the pilot training, that's good.
Mr. Bharadwaj, I don't think we can hear you.
There's a question from Harshavardhan Nandakumar.
Okay.
He says, good evening to the panel, and he says, everyone, thank you everyone for the very well presentation and the alumni feedbacks. His question is, can I come to college directly to inquire about the admission tomorrow?
Okay, you can come, because always admission department is there, faculties are there. No, Saturday.
No. Tomorrow declared holiday, sir. Dr. Sivakumar, sir.
Okay.
Just now, Dean CIT sent a mail that due to Bakrit tomorrow is
Yes, sir. It's a government holiday. So
Monday they can come.
Monday they can come. Yes,
Sir, Harshavardhan, sir, you can come on Monday to inquire about the admission process. If you have, these are the questions. If you have any questions, you can type now in the question and answer session.
So, Harshavardhan, we have a few people who have to talk. We will allow them to talk. No?
Yes.
Few of them are there. Mr. Harshavardhan, you can unmute and talk. Dhanushri, are you there? Dhanushri?
Sir, there is also a question from Yash V. Biswas. They have asked what is the cost of the course and how is it paid, like that.
Okay, is
I'm
it
also yes, sir.
chart
I'm in. Yeah.
So the cost of the tuition fee is 1 lakh per annum. So he can pay, he can come and pay through DD or come to the admission. Suppose in case he is here within Chennai, he can come to the SRM and do the admission and pay the tuition fee. Suppose he is from the other than this Chennai area, so he can apply through the website and he can deposit his certificates. And we are having some software program. He can deposit all the certificates, and after verification, he can do the admission, and the fees also you can pay through the DD or net banking to the SRMIST.
Yes, now it is fully online counseling only.
Yeah, okay,
so you have to upload the mark list, and our panel of faculty members will scrutinize, and it will go to the payment stage. Everything is done online. Especially if you wish to meet any of the professors or to inquire more in technical about the course, maybe if required, you can visit, or you can even call the numbers which is mentioned in the presentation. Okay. So I request one of the professors to type the mobile numbers with name in the chat box also, so that people, attendees will make a note of it and properly inquire with the respective faculty members, fix the time slot, and visit them in the department. That will ease the process, because now due to COVID, no need to entertain anyone visiting our campus, especially because that is the why we have given this program. To give all the inputs. Okay, just you have to apply in our website, and it will take you through to upload your mark sheet, so the necessary parameters will be scrutinized by the admission faculty members, experts team, and then once you get the next level status, you have to pay the fees online. Thank you. Any other attendees wish to talk? You can please raise your hand. Dhanushri, already I have unmuted.
There are some questions.
Please go ahead.
Yes, one question from anonymous attendee. His question is, after completing the course, can we join ISRO?
So
you can join in ISRO. There are the vacancies for the technicians, ISRO, HAL, NAL, and any DRO. For the technical vacancies are there, they can join. After this graduation, definitely they will be recruited in that type of positions, in technical positions in ISRO and the NAL or DRO, any research department.
Okay.
Any other questions?
One question. What is the initial average salary after finishing B.Sc Honors Aircraft Maintenance in India?
This is where this question. First, if they have to do the course and do all the models, and they have to join in the airlines. Okay, depending upon their position where they are going to assist, first they have to work as a technician and acquire the experience on the particular aircraft. Then they have to go as an engineer. Depending upon the positions, the salary will be paid by the company.
Okay, that's it in the question and answer panel. So anyone wants to ask question directly, you can unmute yourself and you can speak your question. Any of the attendees, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask your question directly to the panel. Or you can raise your hand so that we can unmute, so that you can speak and ask your question.
Mr. Bharat, I think there's one more question about salary. What's the initial salary
Initial
after
average
finishing the
salary.
B.Sc?
No, that question I think Dr. Sivakumar has answered just at the end.
Okay, all
That
right.
it depends on the position and
Position.
your knowledge, experience. I mean, the certificates
But
and
I
the
would
position. Yes.
I would actually like to comment on that.
Yes.
So
Yes. Sure,
basically,
please.
Aviation is all about money. So if you have the right job, you get paid. Well, if you don't have, then obviously you don't get paid. Maybe someone else pays you, but definitely the one core aspect about the aircraft maintenance engineer. So in my personal experience, when I was a B.Tech, when I was pursuing B.Techs, and whenever I met an aircraft maintenance engineer, the chances of an aircraft maintenance engineer to get a job was much higher than a B.Tech guy. Unfortunately, for great reason. Yes, because obviously for a B.Tech guy, it's a more research-oriented job. And Aman Jory also shared in the initial part that the aircraft maintenance engineering is a very technically oriented job. So I would like you to imagine, when I was working in Lufthansa, the safety factor that we assume for an aircraft is 10 raised to minus 14 chance of an aircraft crash. Meaning, whenever today, every day, before the time, every day there could be 10 million aircraft taking off, 100,000, something like that, taking off from around the world. And this is a pre-COVID scenario, not during the COVID times. Imagine the aircraft safety is so much ensured that a chance of having a car crash is much higher than an aircraft crash. So the kind of strength or the precision that goes into maintenance, repair, and overhaul is high, because you make one fuss in terms of not managing a particular aircraft part or an engine or something that you miss, even a small valve there could cause a major damage to the aircraft in the air. And those jobs, these jobs here are really paid high. I'll tell you the reason why. Because next day, if you make a mistake, if you get a job, you either get paid high or you make a mistake and then you don't have the job. It's straight. It's either here or either there, because there's no chance for you to make mistake. The precision level required is really, really high. Like in our company, there is a zero tolerance policy. You join the company and there is one investigation, there is a level of severity. You really get paid high. A country head at my level and a country head at an engineering level, well, the responsibilities are definitely different, but the pay is solid high, because I cannot touch an aircraft. He can touch an aircraft. He can open an engine. He can see through, which I can't. There are very few people who can do that. So he can do that. He can do that stuff, which is making that machinery, that metal, get into the air. So that kind of responsibility is shouldered by that person. And for that reason, he's paid that solid high. But there's no room for mistake, guys, because those people that are there on that aircraft flying up there, if you make a mistake there, there would be no one else to complain once that mistake happens in the air, because no one is alive to tell that. So that's how the responsibility is shouldered. So on your salary side, guys, if you're really that proficient, if you're really that disciplined, people will be ready to hire you. And if they hire you, I think money is just other thing. You get your licenses, one license after the other, and your pay gets increased right there. One license, 6 months done, your pay gets raised up from maybe 1 lakh a month to maybe 150 there. Maybe you get into an international carrier after a certain period. I wouldn't hesitate to say my colleagues down there, the beginner guys, get paid around 2 to 2.5 lakh just right there. And I'm not saying the passion is money. The passion should be precision. Your precision would get you a job. Your job will get you the money. So focus on that, and I think things will be in order. Thank you.
Okay, there is a question that is there B.Tech Aerospace Engineering course in SRM? Of course, there is B.Tech Aerospace Engineering course in SRM. It is there from 2006. So it is there.
Can I answer?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. This is Head of Aerospace Engineering, Vasudevan. We have already graduated 10 batches. We do have B.Tech degree, 4-year degree course, which is most sought after by those who are passionate for innovation, and those who have been successful after this BTech degree are working today in Honeywell Technologies, in Airbus France, many of them after acquiring another degree. So this degree is continuing. What we have introduced this year is an additional course, which is a degree course in the name of B.Sc Honors in Aircraft Maintenance. The BTech, which is our staple, is continuing.
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, BTech is very much there.
Yes. Yes. So
So any more questions, sir? Bharadwaj, sir?
no, sir. No other questions.
Okay. So we wholeheartedly thank all the attendees, students, parents, and enthusiastic people who have applied for this B.Sc Honors Aircraft Maintenance course. Already our team of professors called all the applicants. Okay, so you can still correspond with the same numbers, and we will also share the last slide so that you can make a note of the phone number, because due to COVID and we also have some restrictions here because we are attached to the SRM Medical College Hospital and a lot of COVID related treatments are going on. So please take an appointment, and if it is really necessary, please make a visit. Otherwise, we advise you strongly make it everything through online platform. Okay. So from Monday onwards, this application form scrutiny will begin, and a lot of information exchange will be there, and accordingly you can pay your fees and block your seat, and that's all about this admission procedure. And if you want to recommend to any of your friends or neighbors or relatives, anyone, please go ahead and recommend. And all information also available in the website, and you can call our information center, that call center number also, in case you find any difficulty. Okay, so I wholeheartedly thank our eminent professors from Department of Aerospace Engineering for investing their time and making it an eye-opener in comparative with B.Tech Aerospace as well as B.Sc Honors, and which is again very well acknowledged by our old students, alumni, Lokesh Pantri and also Aman Jori. Besides their busy schedule, and they are spending time and entertaining our future prospective students, and I also wish them good luck in all their future endeavors. Now over to Ganapati sir to final vote of thanks.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. Sir, there is one more question I'm seeing. How many seats are there in this course? How many seats are there? Is there any cutoff other than 50%? So I'm able to see a question which reads like this: how many seats are there in this course, and is there any cutoff other than 50%?
So,
50%, what it means? It's he's saying that average of 50% or
no, he's asking for any other qualification. Actually, if you have 50% in PCM, that is enough to let you join.
Yeah.
The upper limit, he wants to know whether only 60 seats or 100 seats. Yeah. We can take a 120 students also. You can just apply.
Yeah.
This is our first academic year. There won't be any difficulty in getting admission if you have 50% in PCM and otherwise you qualify. There is no other cutoff. There is no entrance. There is no other qualification except 50% in PCM aggregate, physics, chemistry, and maths.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So, shall I go for vote of thanks, sir?
Yes, sir.
So, I would like to take this opportunity. First of all, I would like to thank our head of department, Dr. Vasudevan, Professor Vasudevan, who was instrumental in bringing this course. And actually, as Professor Dr. Sivakumar was also saying, it was launched 1.5 years back, and there was a scope for starting it at the last year itself. But due to some reasons, they just shifted, and now we are seeing a lot of admission related queries are coming over here. And at this moment, at this trying moment, even we are able to see a lot of students are participating and getting a lot of interactions. So I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. Vasudevan sir, for making this initiative for this new course, B.Sc Aircraft Maintenance, sir. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank our Dr. Sivakumar, who was an expert, who was with the IAF and who has all expert knowledge and was delivered a wonderful lecture, sir. So it is really interesting, sir. So thank you for your wonderful lecture, sir. I also thank our alumni, especially Aman Jori and Lokesh Mantri. Lokesh Mantri, I remember, I want to add this to Lokesh Mantri. I remember the day where you are running with your cap and then this uniform, NCC uniform. I still remember your face now with that dress. So you are always active. Whenever I see, you are running here and there, and then always you move from one place to another. And still remember one day you were talking to me that you have been selected to represent India in Sri Lanka. That is part of NCC. You are there. So I'm very happy that you are all doing good. And at this moment, you are able to come and share over your valuable inputs to the students here. And we are also able to learn a lot of things from you students also. I would like to thank Lokesh Mantri, our alumni, and Mr. Aman Jori, who was also every year we used to meet with Mr. Aman Jori, who was coming as a part of this BEST project, Student BEST Project award. And once again, it was all started by our entire department, Professor Vasudevan sir. So I'd like to thank Aman Jori, who has given a wonderful insight into all this domain. I also thank our Director Admission, sir, Professor Venkat, sir, for making this webinar and making all these necessary arrangements and clarifying these things to the students. Thank you, sir, Venkat, sir. And I also thank our one more alumni who is not present over here, Dr. Sivakumar, and as he is from Kanchipuram, he has to leave. The college buses are leaving around 4 o'clock. So he got a special permission because there is no other mode of transport available. So he left around 4 o'clock. So I like to thank Dr. Sivakumar. We also have Dr. Bharatwaj, KK Bharatwaj, who was a moderator and helped me a lot to the last moment. And I just called immediately, he just joined this meeting. And I would like to thank Dr. Bharatwaj sir, who was helpful in making this moderator and question and answer things available to everybody. Thank you, sir, Dr. Bharatwaj sir. And I will also thank all the participants who are taken active listening and also question and answer. It is not end of it, as the sir said, the numbers will be able to share with everybody. You can always call that number. So as we all know, we are in a very trying situation, and we should take care of ourselves. That is most important. And also we have the technology where either you can call or you can also want to have an online meeting also. That's also possible. So I would first suggest you all to take all this this thing and try. And if at all, if it is very much mandatory, you can come and visit them. You can come at any time. That's not a problem. But only thing is that our safety is most paramount. So taking that into consideration, you can talk and then you can call us anytime and get all your doubts and other things clarified. So finally, I would like to thank one and all who are present over here and made this webinar a grand success. Sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Yes, sir.